Hello, and welcome to the 22nd episode of Recluse Horror. This is a daily horror movie review podcast. With me today is Sam, who laughs at me every time I do my intro.
Yeah, I do. It's true.
So just a little background on the project. Back in April, on my birthday, I decided I wanted to watch and review a horror movie every single day. I have done so for the past 289 days, although only the past 22 days have been a podcast. Every episode, I review 2 movies, one of which I've watched that very night, and another is one that I've reviewed in text previously that I just go back and talk about any recollection that I have left, aided, of course, by the text review. So today we watched Guru, the Mad Monk from 1970. Samuel, how did you like Guru, the Mad Monk from 1970?
We decided to watch this movie. For some reason. How did you like it?
I thought it was great. It's terrible, but like in the best possible way to me. What do you think?
It's terrible. It's weird. It's super, super weird.
Yeah, they zig every time they should zag.
I guess that's what they're doing.
So, this is a classic example of, like, the B-est B horror movies that are...
It seems weird, even barely a movie.
Yeah, kind of barely.
In quality, at least.
Like,
and structure, and filming, and...
Yeah.
Acting.
And costumes, and sound design,
quality,
and recording.
Yeah, the quality of it's weird.
Yeah. It's kind of all over the place. So, okay, the synopsis of this one, it's kind of hard to synopsize. When I looked it up, they said this takes place in the 15th century. I thought it was a little later. Their clothes looked to me like Renaissance period, but I'm not super well versed on the difference, to be honest. But yeah, it's supposed to take place on an island called like Mortavia, I think. And basically there is a monk named Guru, mad monk named Guru, who he kind of extorts somebody into doing bad things and does other bad things himself, for money, mostly. I mean, what else would you say about it?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I don't know what else. It's kind of all over the place, but that's the basic sort of premise. Yeah, he's a priest. They call him the Mad Monk, but he's really a priest, I guess it would be a priest. Father is a priest.
Yeah.
A Catholic in a Catholic church, and the church is on like this island where they used to store really bad prisoners for all over Eastern Europe. So, okay, that's like as much as
that's this movie.
Yeah, that's this movie. So what did you think about the acting?
What did you think?
I thought the acting was pretty bad. There were a couple of characters that were alright. So the Mad Monk has an assistant, sort of henchman, sort of guy who's, he has kyphosis, which, for those who don't understand the medical term, it's a hunchback. I hate to say that, but as far as I can tell, there's not like a better word for it, none that I know of, so that's kind of what he is. Who is, of course, named what, Samuel?
Igor.
No, it's Igor.
Oh, I get that one wrong.
Yeah, you get that one wrong. It's Igor. Of course, his name is Igor.
I believe it's Igor.
No, that's from Young Frankenstein. Just definitely a better movie than this. But anyway, yeah, Igor is probably one of the better acted parts in this whole movie, I thought.
Yeah, he was good. Ish. Relative.
Yeah, definitely relative. You are definitely on a scale here, on a sliding scale.
I looked it up a little bit, and most of the actors never did anything else.
Or did very little.
Whoever played Carl actually went on to do more acting. Yeah. I don't know who the character Carl was.
He was the guy who the Mad Monk blackmailed him into doing this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went on to do a bunch of stuff.
Did he?
A bunch of TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I could look it up, but it's nothing I would know him from. I don't even...
Yeah.
It's not even like I know a character he played.
Yeah. The only other person... I thought he was okay as far as some of the acting was concerned, but the only other person I thought was pretty good was Father Polanski.
That was the only movie he was ever into.
Oh, really? When I looked it up...
did you see him?
Yeah, he had like 7 movies, I thought, on there.
Oh, yeah. Almost the only thing.
He was in something that I thought I knew him from. It was called The Man with Two Heads from 1972.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with The Thing with Two Heads, that came out the same year. It was capitalizing on that movie and another movie.
It looks like he's only in movies that mostly, at least, that the director of this movie.
Yeah, and Andy Milligan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of these movies, but they sound really bad.
Yeah. So when I looked him up because he looked really familiar to both me and Sam, and I thought I had seen him in something, and I was like, oh, I've seen The Man with Two Heads, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, I think it's The Thing with Two Heads. For those of you who don't know, including Sam, I don't know if you know this. Oh my god. The Thing with Two Heads, we'll watch a trailer afterwards. But, The Thing with Two Heads is about a guy who, like, is in some kind of an accident, I think, and he gets grafted onto a black man's, like, shoulder. He is a severe racist. So, that's...
Whoa, hijinks ensue, I'm sure.
They certainly do. So, I've seen that. Of course, do you want to guess how I saw that and why I saw that?
No, why did you see it?
My stepdad showed it to me. I don't know, I can't remember how we were,
did you watch
how
the
or why.
Movie?
Maybe, I think I did, or at least a good portion of it. But yeah, it's ridiculous and it's totally B and stuff, but I think it's better than that movie. The Man with Two Heads, according to the description, is supposed to be a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing.
Yeah.
And he was in that, but I haven't seen that. The one I saw was with the racist. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what he looks so familiar from, but he was actually really good. He had a very small part. In fact, most of the good actors have, maybe 2 or 3 scenes or something, which is kind of a shame, which I thought was kind of weird.
Maybe we'll get to some of these other
B movies on here.
Yeah, these other gems.
Yeah.
Like The Naked Witch. Degenerates.
The Degenerates.
I like that one.
That one's probably not that's probably a drama. Some kind of crime thing, maybe.
Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. The Ghastly Ones.
The Ghastly Ones.
Yeah. Seeds, Trick of the Trade. Gutter Trash. That's one I want.
Gutter Trash. Oh, come on. We still gotta watch Sex Weirdo.
Bloodthirsty Butchers. The Man with Two Heads, Flophouse on 42nd Street, which is the one I'm the most interested in.
For sure.
And the Weirdo.
The Weirdo.
The Weirdo.
As opposed to Sex Weirdo, which is the one that we have to watch.
I'm looking forward to both of those.
I don't know if Sex Weirdo is a horror movie, though.
Sounds very horrible to me. So I think it counts.
Okay, so we should actually talk about this movie. So this whole movie goes at a breakneck speed. There probably no more than 45 seconds in any given period that there's not dialogue, and very, very rapid dialogue too. The one thing that I found interesting, did Andy Milligan also write that script?
Yes.
It's a pretty good script. Like, if you take it apart, like, separate what happens in the movie.
It is the most interesting part. Yeah. Some of the dialogue, some of the ideas that they put across. They're mostly poorly acted and shot.
Yes.
But other than it being a little redundant and
in a couple of places,
and obviously taken from other ideas like The Hunchback of Notre Dame, there's just other ideas that are just kind of thrown in there that kind of seem like they're from other movies.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh well, I guess we're doing this now.
Yeah. I mean,
but the dialogue was clever or interesting, if not clever.
Well, and the story itself is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting to me is that the movie is like, I think it's 1 hour and 2 minutes, is what it said on IMDb, and they could have stretched that out to being 1.5 hours, and then everything would have felt paced the right way. It wouldn't have felt like they were just like, come on, we gotta get to this next scene. I'm wondering if they were filming, like, they only had a certain amount of time to be able to film in the locations that they had, because the locations were really nice, I thought.
Yeah, they were lit terribly, but yeah, they were most of them were.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they didn't look period either.
Yeah, and it did seem like they were confined to that location too.
Yeah. But maybe they just were like trying to speed through it and get through the scenes as quick as they could because they didn't have a lot of time to film.
I don't know.
But despite the fact that they did not look period and they were lit, you're right, just terribly. I mean,
so bad.
Anytime they went into the actual church, like where the pews are, I don't know what you call that particular room of the church. I'm not a religious person, but
I think they're pews.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like the actual church, like where.
Nah, it's the only thing I know about churches. They have pews.
They do have pews,
so...
but that room is like the darkest room. There's no light in it. But yeah, I don't know. The movie it's sort of fascinating. The script is really interesting. Yes, there's definitely the Victor Hugo knockoff for sure, Hunchback of Notre Dame. But that's really kind of a smaller part of it. It also feels sort of like what is it called? Frankenstein.
Yeah, well, Igor, isn't it?
Yeah, Igor.
Oh.
Igor. It's also
I get that one wrong.
It's also Frankenstein. It's more of a Frankenstein. Well, I guess it's both because he's in the church.
And there's some other stuff that I don't even want to talk about.
Yeah, I don't want. I think I know what I'm talking about.
Spoil it?
Yeah, it's kind of spoil. No, you can kind of spoil this. I mean, it's weird. The twists are really weird. You definitely don't see them coming.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
I understand if that's what happens.
Yeah. Well, and definitely some of the scenes come out of order. Like I said, I don't have any memory of them saying this takes place in the 15th century, although the description does. And you also don't find that you don't find that they're on a prison colony island until way late in the movie. Like you know that they're affiliated with or do things for a prison, but it doesn't seem to be in a prison. It's in a freestanding building. So,
and this movie's not afraid to dump exposition on you. The first thing that happens in the movie is like this long sentence exchange between two people, and you're like, "Oh, where'd that come from? Did I miss something? Who are we talking about?"
Yeah. Well, and did they have short hair? Did women have short hair in the 1500s? I don't think they ever did. And the lead female actor was this girl. Her name was Naja, like Natja, but they call her nausea, like she's a symptom of something, like for the whole film. I think it's Natja. I did look it up, but like why would you pick that name? And anyway, that's not how you would pronounce that. But I don't know. But anyway, she has short hair. She's like a short-haired blonde woman. The dress that she's wearing does not look period. It's definitely not. None of the costumes are made of the right material. I can tell you that much. Do you remember the first costume that Guru was in?
Do you remember his Pope paper hat?
Yeah. So there's this scene. There's this scene in the beginning where, like, the very first thing that you see him wearing, he's wearing like a papal outfit. It looks like, I mean, maybe it's a cardinal, but it doesn't. I mean, it's not red, so I don't know. I don't know what position he's supposed to hold. I think he's just a father.
At one point, he's wearing like a grandma's kitchen tablecloth.
Oh my goodness!
Around his neck.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But like he puts on this, he has his papal hat. That shaped papal hat. I don't know. It might not. I'm not Catholic. I'm not anything, so I wouldn't know.
It's a Pope hat.
But it looks like a Pope hat. It's got the cross on it, and it's white. It's not red. And he goes and he puts it on, and it sounds like there's like paper holding the shape of it on the inside, and they cut away in the middle of him putting that on. I'm sure because they heard the sound and they're like, cut it. But like, oh my god, there's so much of that, and like so much of the audio recording for the voices is completely echoey and like. I don't know. It's all recorded. Much of it is recorded from a distance. The locations, you can totally understand why it would be echoey, and they definitely didn't have ADR budget. There are some really hard cuts with the music too, where they just like bam cut to another.
With the film too.
Yeah, there's a ton of hard cuts. Yeah. What else is there? I mean, there's really bad effects. There are outrageously bad effects. Should we talk about that one effect? Or should we not? Is that a spoiler?
No! These hands are supposed to be cut off and they just pop off. Like, I don't even know. Like, they just fall off the person. It's like, they're just like, oh, I'm gonna cut your hands off. Oh, no, that my hands gave up before you could.
Well, and the person who's, like, cutting them off, too, barely swings at all. I mean, it almost looks like he was just lining up his shot. You know?
And then they just pop off.
And there's no blood, and
it's pretty amazing.
They're smart enough to, show it for a pretty short period of time, but you can also see, the guy with the axe, he comes down with it, and if I remember correctly, he comes down with it very slowly, and then they pop off, but they're still really close to the person's hand, the person who was supposed to be there, so you couldn't necessarily tell that they were cut off. So he comes back with the axe and, nudges them, so that you can tell that they're cut off. This movie is spectacular. If you ever have enjoyed a movie that is bad, ever enjoyed a B movie just because it was bad, this is your movie. This is a great movie for that. And I haven't had this much fun watching one of these in a while. Let me see, what else? There's so many things to talk about this movie. I could talk about this movie for an hour and a half. Like some kind of Kevin Smith review. Yeah, okay, I think I mentioned before there's some parts that happen, some parts of the script happen in, really weird places. There's a ton of exposition through dialogue that's done very, very rapidly. But the story itself is pretty interesting. If you rewrote, I mean, it definitely needs an edit, but as, a rough first draft script, I thought it was pretty interesting. They could have maybe dealt without the guy with the kyphosis, but other than that, it's sort of original in some ways. If you added a little bit more dialogue and rearranged some of the scenes to create more tension, I think that really could have been an interesting script.
I like the writing and the script was pretty, good for what it was.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ideas that they brought up that were more questions.
Yeah.
Than it had anything to do with the movie, which I really liked with the the sailor.
Yeah.
And talking about religion and there's a few other parts like that. Even with what was her name? Naja?
Yeah, Naja.
She had some lines and had some motivations that were pretty interesting. And an interesting look at the time.
Yeah. And
how it kind of mirrors the time today even.
Yeah.
And more so the 70s. That stuff was good, and I saw what they were trying to do and what they added to it. Even though the movie's so stupid.
So stupid.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, that contrast and that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that.
I mean, I could go into every single minute of this. I know I'm going to get done recording this. I'm going to be there editing it, and I'm going to be like, why? Oh, why didn't I mention this one thing?
Because then we talk about the movie longer than it is. It's super short.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's I think an hour and 2 minutes is what they said. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this one. I was not anticipating enjoying it as much as I did. It definitely had some stuff that was very unexpected and sort of, I mean, it doesn't exactly come out of nowhere, but they barely build it in. Some of the ways that they do build it in are kind of clever, even though they're done so heavy-handed because the actors can't do nuance.
Yeah.
But nuance or subtlety or any of that. But yeah, I don't know. It was good. Who would you recommend this movie for?
Anybody who's into B movies. There's not much more of an audience. If you can stand a B movie, just kind of enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
I think anybody else, people who don't like B movies, won't care about this movie whatsoever. But if you do, it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
And kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's not a totally bad movie. Like I said, the script is interesting.
The movie is totally bad.
Oh, yes, the movie is
the
bad.
ideas behind it and some of the people doing this stuff aren't totally bad.
There is some real solid work there. There's some crazy, stupid effects. There's some definitely problems with info dumps with the exposition and the bad acting. Like, everything that could have been bad in this movie was bad, except for the script. And honestly, there were a couple of shots that I feel like they were trying. They were really trying. I thought the filming was other than the lighting, I thought the filming was pretty interesting. Just, like, competent. There wasn't a lot of camera shaking.
Setups. They suffered from probably the location / lighting.
Yeah.
They could have looked really nice, and some of them did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's all. That's all I guess.
Yeah. For me, yeah, anybody who isn't interested in B movies at all, it doesn't go over the top with the B. I don't think they were very aware of how bad this was going to be. Which to me helps. If you're too aware of it, if you're winking at yourself too much, I feel like you usually end up with a bad movie. Just bad movie. And it seemed like they were really trying. They put a lot into this. It was a lot of work. There's a lot of costumes for the Mad Monk. He's got like 4 or 5 different costumes, right?
Yeah, even though some of them are like ridiculously dumb, but he changes a lot.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
He does.
He changes a lot.
Yeah. And like I said, the materials are bad, but like the design of the costumes, like they were trying. They didn't. Some of them are a little definitely not right, but they tried. Yeah, you can really see that there was effort made into this. They weren't just trying to slap the thing together. I mean, they probably were working on a time limit, and they were trying to keep that in mind, clearly, but it wasn't like, let's just crank this out and get some money. Like, it didn't seem like a cash grab, so I appreciate that.
I can't imagine this made any money.
No, I can't either. I can't either. Oh, man. Yeah, anybody interested in B movies? It feels a little bit to me more like a 60s B movie than a 70s B movie. It was made in 1970, which
I am way interested in seeing some of these other movies that
Milligan did.
Yeah. Now
I am too. That's pretty competent, and his script was good.
It was at least crazy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was super crazy. Yeah.
And short.
And short. Sam's into the get in there, get out of there.
If you told us all the story you need to tell.
Yeah.
There's no point.
And they did the beginning, middle, and end. You know, all the things that happened pretty much made sense.
They don't drag anything out.
No, they don't.
Which is nice. Really nice.
Yeah. They definitely could have slowed it down a bit, added some B-roll and stuff like that, but I mean, honestly, for what it was, it did its job, for sure. Yeah, so if that's it, I guess that's our review of Guru the Mad Monk from 1970. So now this one is a completely different type of bad crappy horror movie. When we watched this movie, I'm going to preface this by saying Sam had been trying to get me to watch it with him for months, even before I started doing my whole horror movie per day project. And interestingly, he is the one who was trying to get me to watch it, and I enjoyed it better than he did, which never happens. I am not into these sorts of horror I mean, it's called Zombeavers. What more do you need? And I enjoyed it more than Sam, which I thought was really interesting. So, Sam, did you like it? Would you say that you liked it at all?
No? Yes? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Do you not really remember?
I remember it, and I remember liking parts of it and things about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the more I go back on it and really look at it, there's just certain things in the movie, and this is pretty, semi-rare for me, is that I just, can't get over how stupid or annoying something is.
Yeah.
And some of the acting in this is that it's, just so bad it's hard to get past.
One of the actors is so incredibly annoying with every single line that he delivers until he just stops talking. I didn't think it was bad acting, but he is the most obnoxious human being on the face of the planet. Anyway, this is Zombeavers from 2014. I honestly think our respective feelings for this movie are based on our expectations. Sam was wanting a really ridiculously funny horror comedy, and I was thinking this was going to be the worst. And so the fact that it wasn't the worst made me pleasantly surprised. No, nobody's saying this is a great movie, mind you. Most of the outtake lines are funnier than the ones that made it into the movie.
Yeah, I remember that. That's weird, right?
Mm-hmm. They kill off my favorite character first, which I hate. I hate when they do that. They keep referring to this diving platform as a fucking raft for some reason. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just little things, but they definitely add up to being, like, really sort of annoying. But they made a movie about beavers turning into zombies instead of, like, anything else. You could make a movie about anything, and that's the movie that they chose. So I think the fact that they were able to make any kind of a funny movie out of it makes it, like, better than it could have been. I don't know. I was expecting the worst garbage. And don't get me wrong, it's garbage, but it's not the worst garbage.
Pretty bad.
So, I mean, I guess I should go over the premise, but I think the title kind of gives it all away.
Yeah, it's about zombie beavers. These people go up to the woods.
Yeah.
They get attacked by zombie beavers.
That's it. That's the whole premise.
Yeah, that's the premise.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff's, like, I like the idea just because it's super dumb.
Yeah.
And I like, I like some of the humor, which there isn't a ton of, which is weird.
Oh, what are you talking? You don't remember every single time they can use a beaver pun, they use a beaver pun?
Yeah, that's fine. But other than that, there's not much comedy in this movie, except for maybe the bad effects, the practical effects. Those are pretty funny.
They're hilarious.
But the annoying guy, I think, just is too annoying.
Yeah, he's very, very, very annoying.
So it kind of ruins the movie for me.
Really?
Because he's in it the whole time. And he's just annoying the whole time.
Obnoxious. Every single line, until he's not in the movie anymore, is just a nightmare of epic
It's just cringy every time.
It's not
like,
even...
I think it is
maybe
cringy.
It was cringy. I don't have a specific memory of that.
He's annoying, he's being cringy, and then it's just impossible to get through the movie because of that. So any good things that there are in the movie, which there's a few, like, I like most of the acting was fine.
Yeah.
And
it was better.
The practical effects were super good, actually.
Yeah.
The practical effects were the best thing in the movie.
Yeah. So there's probably only 2 CG CG effects in the movie, and they're both awful. But they're pretty short. They're not huge. The practical effects are plentiful, and they're terrible. But, like, in a way that it's clear, like, this is what it's supposed to look like. We're not trying to make this look realistic. This is a ridiculous prop, and that's what it's gonna be. The characters don't fully represent their normal archetypes to me, which was interesting. In some places, they seem to be trying to go for female empowerment thing. And those moments work well sometimes. Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I remember some of that.
Okay. Other times they seem to set up, like, that motivation with some sort of dumb, machismo line or, machismo action and not follow through with the empowered female response. But most of it actually works and has the appropriate payoff, which I liked. I was a little bit surprised by that. I didn't expect anything about that, especially for a movie called Zombeavers. I mean, the setup of the movie is, like, absolutely ridiculous, but despite that, it works reasonably well in the capacity that I felt like they were going for. I thought it did what they were trying to aim for,
I think a lot of that worked, and I still, I pretty much just think that one character just kind of ruined the movie for me.
Yeah. Oh, he was obnoxious.
Because he just doesn't shut up.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'll just ignore it, but if they're in, like, most scenes, they just don't shut up, and all you can really do is focus on how irritating that character is. They're supposed to be an irritating character, but when it goes to the point of irritating the audience so much, that's the movie. The movie is that irritating, then it's just not gonna be enjoyable. And that's, I just was looking for something stupid, enjoyable, whatever to watch. That's why I want to watch it. It just sounded dumb. But
I think you're having a bad day that day too. I think it did pick you up your spirits a little bit.
Yeah, and then I just had to deal with this annoying guy that in real life I just like, yo.
Would have just stabbed him.
He's like, yo, you gotta
get out of my house.
You're done. You're done, kid.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So a ton of obviously there's a bunch of beaver jokes. Most of them are not very good.
That's what's good about them.
But, yeah.
I will stand firm that the beer jokes are...
solid.
Are the movie.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
That's what this movie should have been.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was. I mean, I know that guy, like, sort of eclipses everything else in that movie for you, but...
I know, I guess not for you, huh?
No. There were just enough parts that I was pleasantly surprised with, between the effects, the female empowerment stuff, and some of those jokes are legitimately pretty funny. Like, some of the ways that they apply those jokes.
Yeah, and it, like, over the top and, like, semi-repetitive.
Yeah.
Like, knowing that it's over the top and repetitive.
Right. Of course. And you have to go into a movie called Zombeavers knowing that's going to be the case. I don't generally like this low brow of horror comedy, honestly.
It's very low brow.
It is, but it wasn't quite as low brow as I personally expected. I was expecting completely, like, lowest common denominator. So, I mean, I suppose if you can tolerate the scary movie series, this is much classier than that to me. At least the one I've seen. What's the one with David Cross? Is that the fourth one?
Of what?
Of scary movie.
It's the second one.
Is it the second one?
Yeah,
for some reason I thought it was later. I've seen a few parts of a few. Is that also the one where they parody The Haunting?
How so?
There's that ghost guy that owns that house, and he wanted babies, and he thinks that this woman is his wife.
I don't know. It's the one that also has Chris Elliott, and he has the little hand.
The little hand.
That's the one with David Cross.
Yeah. I know I've seen that one. I might have seen almost that whole movie. And I've seen the one with The Haunting, which had what's her name? The lead, the one who's was married to Chris Pratt, Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, she's like in the first 3 or 4. I can't remember.
Yeah. But whatever one, the ghost thinks that's his wife, or thinks he wants him to be her wife. Whatever that one is, it might be the same movie. I don't know. I tried really hard to avoid those movies, but Sam watched Scary Movie like 58 times when it was over.
I like 2. I probably watched 2 a million times.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm saying.
Okay,
yeah.
David Cross is in it.
I love David Cross.
I don't apologize for anything.
No, yeah, I know.
David Cross is
That's the only reason why I ever didn't just like, all right, well, if you're watching
David
this,
Cross
I'm
sucks
leaving.
his own dick in that movie.
Oh, he does.
Little known fact.
I forgot about that.
So yeah, I'm gonna watch it a bunch. All right?
Yeah.
Give me a break. I'm human.
What's the one where they roll up and Smokey?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
I don't know.
Do you remember that one? That's
We're supposed to be talking about Zombeavers.
We are supposed to be. So sorry. I've seen a couple of these, and I've seen parts of other ones, but they're awful, and I hate those movies. This is much classier.
You're getting off track. I want to talk about John Mayer.
What do you want to talk about,
John Mayer? John Mayer's in the movie. John Mayer and Bill Burr are
townies?
They're workers of some sort. They, in the very beginning, get attacked by beavers.
I didn't know that was John Mayer.
Yeah, that's John Mayer.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
And their parts aren't even very funny. But in the outtakes, they have, like, the funniest lines.
Yeah, the outtakes are so much funnier. Yeah.
And it just makes me want to watch that movie.
The movie,
yeah. And I hate John Mayer. Everybody does. But
I didn't even know that it was him.
Everybody hates John Mayer, but it still, like, seemed like an interesting movie with, like...
Yeah.
Like, a dynamic.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this movie lacks.
What songs does he do? I know he's the singer guy.
John Mayer songs. Bad songs.
Okay. I don't know. I completely have avoided the radio successfully for like the last 15 years for the most part. So
Bill Burr
I know.
is great though.
Yeah. I remember him. I remember he was in that. And then that was a much more interesting movie. Those two guys in the beginning that set up the movie, they were more interesting. But that happens in a ton of movies. I'm not really griped about that because it's just so
I'm
common.
not griped. I just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's an annoying guy. Just looking at his face is annoying. I'm looking at his face right now.
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot his face.
Yeah, see?
Oh, the anger.
It all comes rushing back.
Oh my god.
And
you're right, he was really annoying. I don't think it ruined the movie for me. I think
Do you want to look at his face some more?
No, I don't want to look at his face anymore. That annoying guy is the most annoying person on the planet.
We're just gonna leave it vague, so...
Yeah.
So we're
they'll
not
know who we're talking
so
about when they see the movie.
We have plausible deniability. in case...
That guy?
That guy, yeah.
Well, I think he knows he's supposed to be obnoxious.
Not to the level
of obnoxious.
I personally hate him.
Oh my god!
Not even just the
actor.
role. Yeah.
So me and Jason Schwartzman back in the day.
Yeah.
I decided that I don't hate him anymore. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I try because I like the things that he's done. Bored to Death was awesome.
Because you watch The Hangover and he has a monster dong.
Not The Hangover.
Or the
Overnight.
Yeah, he has a monster dong.
Did he?
That's a weird reason.
No.
Hey, look at this guy's annoying face.
I don't remember. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate him so much. He showed me a picture of the annoying guy from Zombeavers, not Jason Schwartzman. Did he have? I can't remember that. Did he?
Yeah, he had a monster dong.
Okay.
It's a plot point.
I'm sure it's. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a plot point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really liked The Overnight, and I liked Bored to Death, and I don't know.
We talked about
Fantastic Mr.
before.
Yeah, I know. Fantastic Mr. Fox. And he's just done a lot of good stuff lately, and
won you over.
I feel bad that I had emotional scarring.
But anyway, Zombeavers.
Zombeavers. Yes, had nothing to do with this. I would say for another suggestion, like I said, if you can handle scary movie, this is much classier. If you like bad trauma movies, you can probably handle this.
Yeah, it's kind of on that level.
It doesn't feel like a trauma movie at all.
It's not as gory.
No, it's not as gory as Trauma, and it's funnier to me, but I haven't seen all of them, to be fair. I haven't seen most of the Trauma movies.
It is not to me.
No?
The original Toxic Avenger, so good.
Is it? Maybe we should watch
Trauma
that.
just has a lot of varying qualities of movies, so it's hard to be like,
yeah,
if you like this Trauma movie, you'll like this one. That's not even close to the case.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I know I've seen Class of Nukem High and a few other ones. Class of Nukem High I didn't really care too much for.
I like Class of Nukem High.
But I don't
like it as much as I like the Toxic Avenger though.
Yeah.
I think that's super good.
Yeah, Trauma is definitely something I'm gonna have to give more of a chance. I've sort of always avoided them because they
are stupid.
Because the clips I've seen look beyond stupid. Like, not just your regular level of stupid. But I do generally enjoy B movies as long as they're not too, again, overly self-aware, which I kind of felt like a lot of Trauma is. So, but you know what? James Gunn came from there, and he's great. If you haven't seen it, I mean, he did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, of course. But if you didn't see Super, which I'm almost positive was him, that is incredible. It has Rainn Wilson, who was Dwight in The Office, playing a guy who wants to become a superhero. And it is one of the most... I mean, it would appeal to horror fans, too. There's definitely some horror influence in that movie, but it is really incredible. And he came from Trauma. Did he do Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, that's the one he did.
Yeah, okay.
I think that might have been the only one.
It might have been the only one?
And yeah, yes, James Gunn directed.
Super?
Yeah. I was almost positive, but I wanted to double check.
So, yeah, James Gunn does great work. And again, he came from Trauma, so I don't know. Maybe I should watch Romeo and Juliet. I hate Romeo and Juliet, so I can't imagine.
That'll do it, right?
I can't imagine Romeo and Juliet as any better. It's like mash up something I'm really iffy about with something I actively dislike. It's not really great. Yeah. Any horror comedy fan who doesn't mind like low budget, whatever. If you are not interested in hearing a bunch of like beaver jokes, or if obnoxious people in movies make you want to stab people, maybe avoid it. But other than that, like I honestly thought it was a lot better than I was expecting. I've seen a lot of really bad horror comedies, and this was not really that level of bad. Nothing in this movie to me is worse than the title, other than that one fucking character. So, eventually they stopped giving him lines. It's great. Everybody loves everything. It's the movie becomes magical after he stops giving lines. So, yeah, did you have anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, no.
Okay. So that's our review of Zombeavers from 2014, and that's our show. If you enjoyed this, please share it with people that you love, or people that are into horror, or people that you really hate, I guess. If you hated the show, definitely do that.
Hey, look at this annoying guy's face.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
You should watch it.
This guy's face is so annoying. I guess you could just show him a picture of it.
His face is annoying. But that's not what the...
No, he's also annoying.
He's also annoying.
Matches his personality.
I forgot how much he annoyed me until you showed me that picture, and I had a physical reaction to how annoying... So maybe my memory is lessened, but in my review, I said he didn't ruin the movie for me. So I'm gonna just go ahead and... I wrote that review directly after watching that movie, so I'm assuming that's still the case. He is the worst in that movie. Oh my god, I'm not over it yet. Anyway... So, share this with people. That's, the best way that you can help us out here. You can also like, subscribe, review, whatever it is on whatever site you found us. You can reach out to me on social media at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and probably a couple others that I never remember. If you found it on a platform that you don't really like, we are on iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, YouTube, and pretty much any podcatcher out there, as far as I know, I think. And, yeah, I think that's about it. Sam, any final words?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening. Sam, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.